The case of Dustin Moss. Mr. Moss, his DOC number is 720-937. He's requesting a pardon with restoration of firearms. He was sentenced in Bossier Parish for indecent behavior with a juvenile. He is represented by counsel. That's Ms. Catherine Gilmer. Ms. Gilmer has requested a continuance because she is in court today on a murder trial and cannot be present this morning. So based on that request, I'll entertain a motion for continuance.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Freeman, second by Mr. Tillis to continue the matter of Dustin Moss. Is there any objection? Hearing none, that matter is continued. We do have with us for that case, we have Ms. Abigail Dean and Ms. Gina Bajeron, who have an interest in that case and have traveled quite some distance this morning for that case. And we would like to take their testimony this morning so we can make it part of the permanent record, so that at such time as the case comes back up before us, we'll have that testimony. So Ms. Bajeron and Ms. Dean, thanks for being here this morning. I'll let you two decide who would like to go first to tell us what you'd like us to say about your comments. Yeah, you can just stand at the podium.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing.
You're Abigail?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak here today. I'm speaking from a deeply personal place, and I ask that you consider not only the facts of this case, but also the lasting impact of his actions. Most of what I will say today are things mentioned in my letter as well. However, I feel the need to reiterate and stress the importance of behind why I feel the certain way that I do, as to why I strongly believe that a pardon should not be granted for Mr. Moss. I've always been a very trusting person. I've always wanted to see the good in people. At 14 years old, that trust made me vulnerable. It led me to believe words and promises that were not genuine. At such a critical age, when placing that trust into someone who I expected to help me and to lead, instead took advantage of my innocence. The impact of that trust being exploited has stayed with me throughout my life. I've always had a deep respect for law and justice, and I've devoted my life to pursuing a career in the legal field because I believe in fairness and doing what's right. People who intentionally harm others, especially children, violate everything that justice stands for. While we all make mistakes in life, what happened to me went far beyond that. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a lapse in judgment. It was a grown man deliberately targeting a young, impressionable girl who was still trying to figure out who she was. He acted purely for his own selfish gain, without any consideration for the damage it would cause me. I've also experienced the pain of this kind of crime within my own family. As I've mentioned in my letter, my uncle is currently serving 30 years in prison for the sexual battery of his own stepdaughter. I was able to recognize the signs in his case, signs that at the time I didn't fully understand when happening to me. My uncle robbed a young girl of her innocence, something that Mr. Moss himself has done as well. That is something no child should ever have taken from him. That is a violation I believe can never truly be excused or forgotten. I've recently gained my title as a mother to my beautiful 4-month-old son. And becoming a mother has opened my eyes to a kind of love and protection I never fully understood until now. Now I can finally grasp why my own mother reacted the way she did. The fear, the anger, the protective instinct that comes from a place of pure love. When I look at my son, so innocent and unaware of the world around him, I can't fathom the thought of someone ever taking advantage of his vulnerability. The idea of him enduring even a fraction of what I've experienced breaks me in ways I never knew possible. There are things that still haunt me, things I can't fully understand even to this day. One of my deepest vulnerabilities was the loss of my father when I was 9 years old, and he knew that. He claimed that my father had said when I became of age that he wanted us to be together. A pure manipulation tactic. Hearing that, having someone exploit the memory of my dad in that way is shocking, confusing, and cruel. What makes this even harder to understand is that Mr. Moss has children of his own, including a daughter. I often ask myself, if someone did this to her, how would he react? Would he still believe a person like that deserved leniency, grace, or a second chance? If not, then why would he be okay doing it to someone else's child, especially a child whose parents trusted him as family? Throughout the investigation, I learned that it wasn't just me. He also possessed inappropriate photos of other girls, showing a pattern of behavior that was intentional and dangerous, not just a mistake. While some people may argue that I should have known better, and for a long time I believed that myself, the truth is I was still learning. I was adjusting into a new phase of life that did not deserve to be taken away in the manner it did. I blamed myself for years, believing I allowed this to happen. But now, with maturity and clarity, I understand that it was never solely my fault. Mr. Moss knew exactly what he was doing and exactly why he was doing it. The part that I hate the most is that his actions did not stop with me. They rippled into the lives of the people that close to me, who have had to help pick up the pieces of something that should have never happened. It damaged the closest relationship I had. After my father passed, my mom and I were inseparable. She was my best friend, but during all this, I began seeing her as the enemy instead of the loving mother who was only trying to protect me. And he stood back while that happened. He let a child turn against her mother, and for a long time, our bond was fractured in a way it never should have been. Those are moments we'll never get back. He has shown no remorse. Meanwhile, I'm left to live with the aftermath forever. Neither my mother nor I have ever received an apology. The pain he caused reached far beyond pain. It tore apart a grieving family and damage that just does not disappear. So today, I'm asking you, not just for my own pain, but for every child who cannot speak for themselves, and for those who have been targeted by someone who they believe they can trust, please do not grant Mr. Moss a pardon. What he did was intentional, manipulative, and deeply harmful. His action has lifelong consequences, and accountability should reflect that. I'm asking you to stand with me, honor the truth, and deny the pardon so that no other child has to endure what I went through. Thank you for listening to me today and considering.
Thank you. Ms. Basham?
Morning.
Hmm.
Thank you for letting me speak. I'm here because Justin Moss took my child innocence. He groomed her, he manipulated her. He asked for forgiveness. He was 14 years old, he was 29, 15-year gap there. He knows better. He could have stopped. He could have halted it and said, this isn't right. He didn't. Told her what she wanted to hear. She reacted to everything. She thought that that was what she was supposed to do. She fell in love with him. He didn't fall in love with her. He fell in love with the feeling, the lust. Makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick. Like I said, he knew better. He knew that, that was wrong. His child of his own. I mean, what would he do, if they did that to his child? Let's go and see. That's funny. It's real funny. He didn't even go to jail. He went to jail when he was initially arrested. Served less than a day, I think. He bailed out. It was a pretty high bail. He came up with that bail real quick. I believe it was his wife's family that bailed him out. Which his wife, I ran into her after he bailed out, and she told me that my daughter was crazy. My 14-year-old daughter was crazy, but yet her 29-year-old husband with 2 kids was the one grooming her and preying on her. I don't get it. How was she crazy? She believed everything he told her. It really hurt our family a lot.
It tore her and I apart. She thought I was the enemy. She thought I was a horrible person for taking up for her. For trying to get justice served. I don't know, I don't think he needs clemency. He did serve time, he had apologized, he showed no remorse. I just don't feel that he needs it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you both for being here this morning. I'm sorry we continued the case, but we'll be in touch when we put it back on the docket. But your testimony today will be made part of the permit. Thank you so much.
Thank you.